Quick context before the fun part. CSS Grid lets you carve a page into rows and columns, and you already use it every day. But there's always been one catch hiding in plain sight. The moment you put a grid inside another grid, the inner one starts completely fresh, its own tracks, its own sizing, totally ignoring the parent it lives in. Subgrid is the missing piece that fixes that. On the child element, you write grid template columns subgrid or grid template rows subgrid, and instead of making up its own tracks, the child snaps onto the parent's tracks. That one keyword is what finally lets nested things line up. A row of cards, the fields in a form, the rhythm running down a long article, all of them sharing the exact same lines. And the best part, it shipped in every major browser back in 2023, so this isn't a someday feature, you can use it today. Okay, your CSS grid is lying to you. It looks aligned, it absolutely is not. Here's 3 cards in a grid, sitting side by side. In the mock-up, they looked perfect. Then real content showed up. One title fits on a single line, the next one wraps to 2, one card has a longer description than the others, and now look, the images start at different heights, the buttons float at different spots, the bottoms don't agree on anything. The whole row feels broken. And here's the part that stings. The grid is doing exactly what you told it to. It spaced those 3 cards perfectly evenly, but everything inside each card, the title, the image, the little button, that's a separate world the parent grid cannot see. I have shipped this exact bug to production. It looked flawless in the design file, and it fell apart the second the real copy went in. So why does this actually happen? The second you put display grid on a card to lay out its title, image, and button in a column, that card becomes its own grid container. Its rows get sized by its own content and nothing else. The card sitting right next to it does the exact same thing, completely independently. 2 cards, 2 private grids, 0 awareness of each other. That is why card 1's image row can be tall, while card 2's image row is short. They never compared notes. They were never even in the same conversation. Classic Grid gave you beautiful alignment, but only inside one single container. The instant you nested a grid inside it, every child went solo. And for years, the workaround was genuinely ugly. Fixed pixel heights that broke on the next locale. Line clamping titles so they'd never wrap. JavaScript that measured every box and forced them all equal on resize. All of it fighting the layout, none of it actually using it. Here's the fix, and honestly, it's almost too simple. The cards already live inside the parent grid. So on each card, you keep display grid, because it still needs to be a grid to lay out its own pieces. But instead of letting it define its own rows, you write grid template rows subgrid. That's it. Now the card stops inventing its own tracks and adopts the parent's instead. Watch what happens when I save. The title row, the image row, the button row, every single card now shares the exact same lines. Long title, short title, 3 lines of description or 1, it doesn't matter anymore. The images all start on one baseline, the buttons all land on another, perfectly. And the same idea works on the horizontal axis too, with grid template columns subgrid. One keyword, and the alignment you've been faking with hacks for years just happens for free. The only thing to burn into memory, the child still needs display grid, or subgrid has nothing to attach to. Cards are the obvious win, but forms might be the one you reach for more. Picture a form where every row is a label, then an input, then a little line of helper text underneath. Normally, each row decides its own column widths on its own, so the labels never line up. Short label, long label, and the inputs start at ragged, different positions down the form. It looks amateur, and you've definitely seen it. Now make each row a subgrid on the columns, sharing the parent's tracks. Suddenly, every label column is exactly the same width, every input starts at the same X position, and the helper text lines up underneath each one. It reads like a real, designed form instead of a pile of stacked rows. And notice what I'm not doing. No magic fixed widths, no guessing pixel values, no min content juggling. The parent defines the columns one time, and every row just obeys. One more example, and this one is subtle, but it's the chef's kiss case. Long-form article layouts, a heading, then a figure, then body text, then a pull quote, repeated all the way down the page. What you actually want is a consistent vertical rhythm, everything snapping to the same underlying baseline grid so the page breathes evenly. So you define those row tracks once on the article container and then let each section be a subgrid on the rows. Now every figure, every pull quote, every block of text aligns to the same rhythm down the entire page, no matter how much body copy sits between them. This is the exact stuff that separates a layout that feels designed from one that feels assembled. But let me be honest with you here, because not everything needs this. A simple stack of cards with nothing aligning inside them does not need subgrid. Reach for it when things genuinely have to line up across separate containers. If nothing is nesting, if nothing has to agree, you're completely fine without it. Before you go sprinkle this everywhere, a few traps. First, subgrid only applies to the axis you actually name. If you write grid template rows subgrid, your columns are still doing their own independent thing. Want both axes aligned? You declare both explicitly. Second, nesting. You can stack subgrids more than one level deep, but past a level or two it gets genuinely hard to reason about who's borrowing tracks from whom, so do yourself a favor and keep it shallow. Third, named grid lines passing through a subgrid get confusing fast, so lean on plain line numbers when you can. And the big one is fallback. Older browsers just ignore the subgrid keyword entirely, so wrap it in an @supports check. Give those browsers a sensible regular grid first, and then enhance on top. And one real-world tip: when alignment still looks wrong, open DevTools and switch on the grid overlay. Seeing the actual track lines painted on the page is by far the fastest way to spot which grid a child really joined. So that's subgrid, start to finish. Classic grid aligns things inside one container. Subgrid lets a nested child borrow its parents' tracks, so cards, forms, and whole articles can line up across boundaries that used to be flat out impossible. One keyword, grid template rows or columns subgrid, quietly replaces fixed heights, line clamps, and JavaScript measuring hacks you've been carrying around for years. It's baseline across every major browser, it's clean, and once you watch the alignment snap into place, you genuinely won't go back to the old way. And if you want me to go deeper on nested grid systems, the really gnarly multi-level layouts where this gets powerful, comment subgrid down below, and I'll make that the next one. Catch you in the next deep dive.